All right, so hello, my name is Vita, and I am going to give you some really good hints and tips on how to write the FTCE writing essay. That was one of the things that I struggled with. And for me, it kind of messed with my ego because I consider myself a writer. I also consider myself a good writer. And then when you're teaching writing to the students and you're not able to pass it, but they're doing very well on their test, it kind of messes with your ego a little bit. And then so one day it hit me. You're teaching these students how to write writing, how to, write really good essays, and they're doing very good, and you're scoring them off of the 8th grade rubric, and they are doing really, really good. I mean, people have came in to analyze their essays to make sure that they are writing them based upon the 8th grade rubric. Why don't you just write your essay based on the 8th grade rubric? And I went in there, I wrote a 4-paragraph essay using the 8th grade rubric, and bam, boom, passed it. I wasn't even sure of myself that day because I was like, I kept missing it by 1 point, and I didn't know what that 1 point was. I'll tell you what that 1 point is, but I won't tell you now. I'm just going to jump right into this. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen because I don't want to waste your time, because I know your time is important. Use this guide as a way to write your essay and share this video with as many people as you would like. And I promise you, they will get it. If you want one-on-one help, email me and I'll help you. Someone help me, and I want to be able to help someone else. So here we go. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm going to jump right in. So this is one of the writing prompts that I actually got off of the FTCE website, where you go to sign up for tests and things like that. So, and this one says the use of technology in education and access to the internet in schools can potentially lead to threatening situations for students. Provide an analysis of 2 aspects that educators should consider when developing a plan to protect students from potential threats. All right, so when you get your essay, you're most likely going to get one that either is a persuasive one, what we call an argument, informative, or you may get one that says analyze or give them an analyst. So you just don't know which one you're going to get. So if you see the word argument or persuade, remember, that's your opinion. And that's the one that can throw some people off. And I'll tell you why later. You're going to have a counter argument in there. I'll show you how to make a quick counter argument. Informative. Stick with what sounds like just facts, not your opinion. We don't even want to use words that even give a hint that you're giving your opinion. And analysis, that is pretty much another, I would say it's do it just like an informative. Do it like it's an informative essay, and you'll be just fine. Because you're putting something under a microscope and you're picking out pieces of it. So look at it like that. You're analyzing something. Someone has given you a pizza and you're pulling out the different parts of it. The pepperoni, I have the cheese. So look at it like that. You're just picking things apart. So the ones, if you get a persuasive one, if you miss it by 1 point, it's most likely because you didn't give a counter argument. Because you're going to be instructed, you're going to be expected to do an introduction, put that bold, a body paragraph. Remember, your introduction will need to have a thesis, and you are going to be expected to have a conclusion. Another thing about the conclusion, make sure it has to tie into the introduction. So when you get to your conclusion, your introduction is simply going to be, your conclusion is going to be your introduction, rephrased in a slightly different way, but pretty much saying the same thing. And remember the other thing, these transitional phrases that give your essay a logical sequence of order. So you're not going to say something happened last and then talk about, you're not going to talk about the last thing first. You're going to use those words in order, but you already know that. But I mean, I don't want to take it for granted that anyone just knows everything, because some people are math whizzes and they don't know how to write maybe so. And some people know how to write, but can't do math. That's me. Math is not my thing. So now that you know that, and you can screenshot this page or whatever, however you want to do it, if you need these notes, for later. But this is one of the writing prompts that they give you. So I wrote this, I literally just wrote this and realized that I was writing and not recording. And so I had to stop and do it again. So here, bam, guess what? Here's your introduction. And I'm gonna show you the different aspects of the introduction. I'm gonna actually analyze this introduction. So what I started out with was my first line, which is a hook. You want to make sure that you are using a variety of words. So you want to know your synonyms, because you don't want to use the same words over and over and over again. So I started out with, in today's society, the safety and welfare of students in the public school system should be everyone's priority. And you want to use words that are on your level, words that a teacher may use, not a first grader may use. Okay. And then my next line is, students and parents should both feel safe about the environment students are in. Now, here's the kicker. Whatever it told you to write about, use as many of these words as you can. Restate the prompt. Restate the prompt. Restate the prompt. We call it race. Restate the prompt. Answer the question that the prompt asks. So if it give the two things that it said it wanted you to have. You're going to make sure that you have evidence in your essay. This is going to be in the body. And you are going to elaborate or explain your evidence. And when we call that race, I teach my students to do that. I began by teaching them how to do it in the paragraph, but I'm going to show you how to do it in the essay form. So right here, you see me having restated the prompt, which was educators, two of the most important aspects to consider are the cost of the safety plan. Here, let me start over. Blah, blah, blah. Educators should consider different aspects when developing a plan to protect students from potential threats. And see how I use so many of these words, two aspects. Now, here, I am kind of restating it again, but I'm making sure that I am focused. Your essay has to be focused. That means you have to write about what they asked you to write about, not what you want to write about. So stay focused. And that's another part of the writing rubric for the 8th grade writers. It says that the essay has to be focused. If your essay is not about what it wanted you to write about, you might as well scrap it, because nothing else is going to matter. It's not going to be logical, because you're not writing about what they asked you to write about. So if you don't write about what they asked you to write about, you might as well have not written your essay. You just wasted $75, and I don't have $75 to throw away. And you probably don't either. If you're watching this video, you want to pass a test. So it's as easy as ABC once you know how to do it. And so here I am. I'm giving these two aspects because that's all it said. It didn't say 3, didn't say 4. It said 2. So 2 of the most important aspects to consider are the cost of the safety plan and proper training of administrators on how to follow the safety, on how to follow the plan correctly. Now, here's my thesis. The thesis is usually going to be the last sentence in the introduction, and it's going to quickly, briefly tell you what your 2 big ideas are going to be about. See, these are my 2 big ideas: the cost and proper training. And, I think I'm going to use the word and time to properly train administrators. How about that? It makes the sentence smaller. And 2 of the things that you can always write about is money and time. So no matter what 2 subjects you cover, whatever prompt they give you, try and find a way to think about cost and time, because those are two things that people seem to run out of: money and time. So here I am. I have my two big ideas that I'm going to write about. Now I'm going to be thinking about transitional phrases, phrases that actually show my essay moving along in a logical sequence, making sense, moving along properly, like 1, 2, 3, not 5, 7, 2, 1. So it's, you want to go in order. Okay, so I decided up here in my essay that I had the cost of the safety plan first. So number one, cost. Most schools have a budget, right? Schools, um, you know what? Many schools have budgets that prevent them from let me see. So if I pause for a moment, it's because I'm thinking, I'm pretending. I mean, like even right now, I'm pretending like I'm in that atmosphere where I have that headphone on and I'm trying to block out everyone around me. And I'm actually co-writing this for you so that you can see that it can be done. Um, so I didn't look at this prompt before I made this video. I did look at the prompt while I was actually making the video, realized I wasn't recording, had wrote my introduction, had told you about that other stuff up there, and realized it's not recording. So I started over. But the more and more you do this, the faster and faster you get. So you're going to just practice different prompts on your own before you decide to go out and take that test. Okay. All right. So here we go. Let's think. And as I'm thinking, I can use my pad, because I wrote the very introduction. I wrote my two big ideas on my pad because I'm looking back over here and I just brainstormed. I took maybe about 7 or 8 minutes and brainstormed. I didn't even take a whole bunch of time and I didn't care about my handwriting because they're not going to see that. All right. So budgets. Many schools have budgets and now look, this stuff doesn't have to be right. It just has to sound logical or sound realistic. So don't worry about, oh, but they know that's not true. Look, they know they're not looking for that. They're just looking for it to sound logical so you can make up stuff. You know that, right? You can make up stuff. You're even going to make up your evidence because you do have to cite evidence. And I'm going to show you how to do that as well. So many schools have budgets that prevent them from. So I live in a district where many of the schools are what we call Title I schools, where they don't have a lot of money and they depend on grants. So many schools have budgets that prevent them from giving from. So when you see that you're stuck, like I am now, hey, let me go down to the second one. I know I'm going to be talking about budgeting. I know I'm going to be talking about cost. So I'm just going to go ahead and start writing my essay on time. Because once you see that you're stuck, bam, go to your second one. Go to your second. And then we're going to be talking about the time, right? Time. And I know I'm going to be wanting to talk about time, right? So I have some transitional phrases that a lot of times we don't use. So I haven't used my first one yet. So I know I'm not going to use first of all, because I'm in my third paragraph. So I'm going to think about one of the transitional phrases that I would use in that one. So I may say in addition to, so let me say, in addition to cost, time is a factor to consider when it comes to safety plans. Currently, we're short of So currently, Steve, do you see a cord like for your, I need a cord to plug in this computer, the C cord, or it's gonna die real quick. All right, so currently, schools are limited due to a shortage of teachers, right? So we know that. So how do I make that turn into time, right? So we don't have the ability to have, we don't have time away from classes. So, so that's how I'm going to put it into time. Um, Teachers and substitutes. That limits the time teachers are able to be away from the class. For proper training. See, you know, stuck that in there. Now we need to give some evidence, right? Can't just do anything without evidence. Oh no, this is my computer. Oh no, yeah, one of these kind of chargers. All right, so that limits the time where we have for proper training, right? So let me cite some evidence. According to USA Today, no, this is a flat one. I need the one that's straight round. According to USA Today, and you want to use those phrases that let you know, you can say according to, um, um, or sources, things like that, that lets the person reading your essay know that you cited right up here some evidence. According to USA Today, of this unprecedented year. I want to use a big word. Yeah. You see how I told y'all I don't use words, so you know you're not spelling right. President of teachers. Use personnel. I don't want to, like I said, you want to use a personnel. Um, there is not there to replace them while they take while they train for, what is it that we have to do? Just training for anything, right? According to USA, because of this massive shortage of personnel, there's no left for teachers to or improve. Or what's one of the things that we do? Let me find a word. I'm on spring break, so I'm at a loss for words right now because I've been really resting my mind. So, to train and see, I will go. I'll go back in later and fix this up. But what you want to do is you want to get that essay in there. You want to get those 4 paragraphs in there. You want to get those 5 paragraphs in there, and then use those last 10 minutes to read through it out loud to yourself, and then go back in and fix little things, right? So right here on my actual screen, I delete this, right? And I take this out and I delete this, right? And then I see my essay coming together, and then my conclusion tab. Because I'm going to go back in and finish this second paragraph. You just want to write, right? Because you can go back in and finish this stuff. So my conclusion, 2 of the most important aspects, as you can see, so I'm going to talk about time and money. So as you can see, although time and money are affecting should be considered. And so now you see, well, I'm going to say now you see. Now you see. Okay. Why? Money is extremely important. Safety plans, costs, and the individuals who write them, write them, and train others to implement them have all right. So right here, I'm going to say the individuals put time and money into these plans are, and these safety plans, what we do know, and on a serious note, safety plans are unique to each school, or and they aren't something that's just put on a piece of paper. Nonetheless, because of the world that we live in, they are necessary. Therefore, each district should make sure that they are a priority, right? Or priority. Bam. All right. So now you see how I have 3 paragraphs. I have this 4th one that I haven't done yet, right? So I'm going to go to mini schools, and I have to make sure I have to make sure that in this one, and just in case, now if this were argumentative or persuasion, I would simply throw a third paragraph in here that gives a counter argument, right? Because right now I'm saying that it's important, right? And we can turn any essay into an argument. I may say something like, some believe that safety plans are not important. And I will go in and start talking about why they're not important. This is why many people fail or miss it by one point when they have an argument. They don't have a counter argument. So make sure that paragraph right before the counter argument, right before the conclusion, has a counter argument. But make sure that with their counter argument, you come back in and knock it out the window. However, students' lives are at stake. So it is of the, utmost importance. And then I say something else, blah, 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 blah. So this is if I were to have, this would be my counter argument if I were going to be doing a counter argument. And that's the thing. So if you were writing a persuasion, argumentative or an opinion, or you're doing a persuasive essay, that's what you would make sure you have. So I'm just knock that out the way though, real quick, because we don't need it, right? So we're not doing that kind. So here I am. I'm going back up here and I'm going to try and finish this one real quick, right? And how many minutes have I been writing? It hasn't been that long. It hasn't been 55 minutes. I know that much. So here I am. I'm going to finish this 4th paragraph up here. So I have the mini schools. So I'm going to say, to begin with, many schools have budgets that prevent them from being able to get basic being able to I changed the password. My mom, $pound sign number 2. Academics and testing to be a priority. That doesn't be now it says academics seem to be a priority for districts that have not been impacted by school violence. So I'm going to give a statistic. Remember, give statistics. So addition. So this is where you come in with the little things: statistics, fake statistics, citing evidence, cite evidence using fake statistics. So I'm going to say, studies show that 1 out of 10 schools will be impacted by some type of gun violence. So, by 2025, when lives are in lives are at stake, that puts and look at this prompt again. Developing a plan that So to begin with, many schools have budgets and that prevent them from being able to meet the basic needs of students. Academics and testing seem to be a priority for districts that have not been impacted by school violence. So they show that 1 out of 10 schools should be impacted by gun violence by 2025. So we're talking about the cause. So when lives are at stake, that means that developing a safety plan for schools should be a priority as well. No cost. So basically, no type of money can replace the life of our children who are students. And in addition to I'm gonna say another. So we talked about cost. So now another factor to consider when it comes to safety plans is time. See how I didn't even notice that mistake until I went back through and read it. So here you can quickly see that I did 4 paragraphs. I could easily do another one, but they only asked for 5. So if I wanted to do 5, I could go in here really quickly and talk about how these two things together, um, you know, can be worked out, how, ways to implement them. But I try to keep it focused and I try to keep going back up here looking at my actual topic that I'm supposed to be writing about and using words out of it, a few times trying to. Now this is pretty elementary, and honestly the one that I wrote was pretty elementary, but I passed. And I did have 5 paragraphs though. So but just remember, if you follow these rules, if you these are transitional phrases, things that let you now you can see which lets you know that I'm closing out. These are different phrases that lets you know that you're transitioning, next, then, things like that. And you may want to Google a list of transitional phrases that are on a higher academic level for when you're writing your essay, so that you really, really are able to come prepared with these things in your mind. look at the, go to the website. I'm going to show you the website. I should have it still up still. Go to this website. Bam. Go to the FTC, the Florida website, and you'll be able to look at the rubric, their actual rubric score. So they're looking for the main idea is established and fully developed. They want specific details with examples. So I gave specific details in it. They want to organize in a logical, coherent way. They want to stay in focus, which means stay on topic. They're looking for errors in sentence structure. You want the highest score you can get. I mean, so here, this is a week. The main idea is incomplete, ambiguous. Big. So you said some really crazy stuff whenever you were doing your little fake citing evidence. The focus is not established means you didn't restate the prompt. You didn't probably even talk about anything in the prompt. You had so many errors, but I'm pretty sure. And a lot of times, simply because nerves can take you over, and that's why I say study, practice, because then it will become second nature. So you want a good essay, make sure it's organized, it's focused. When they say focus, you stay on topic, you write what they told you to write about. Your vocabulary and sentence structure, it's varied. You're not writing the same, sentence doesn't start with the same one. You write a variety, and it's effective. Errors, they're not looking for you to write like you're writing, for your master's program. They're looking for it just to make sense. And you can get that 8 or higher really, really easily if you do those things. So I hope that this helped you out a lot. If you want any more help with it or one-on-one help, just put your name put your email in the comment section, and I will be more than happy to help you. But this is free. Someone helped me, and I want to help somebody else. So you have a good day.